Developments. The former mayor of Tshwane, Dr Murunwa Makwarela, has been granted bail. Govan Whittles is following developments where that is concerned. He's standing by to give us a debrief in terms of what we saw and heard during this proceeding. Govan?
Thank you, Dudu. Well, an interesting case. Dr. Makwarela appearing here on 2 counts of fraud. One of what they call attrition or artation, because essentially he's accused of fraudulently agreeing to be a councillor and then incurring a salary of 1.4 million rand from the city of Tshwane Council. Then he's accused of fraud again for submitting a fake court document, and then attrition is the charge for which is specifically designated for his decision to conduct or hand over a certificate which he knew was a fraud. This case is a Schedule 5 offence investigated by the Hawks, and with me I have the Hawks spokesperson, to talk about this. Ms. Mokhale, thank you so much for your time. Let's begin with the fact that this is being investigated by the Hawks and the Serious Crimes and Corruption Unit. What makes this a serious offence?
This is a Schedule 5 offence, which is she's been allegation of 2 counts of fraud and 1 of uttering. This is following the submission of fraudulent documentation with relation to his sequestration previously, and these documents he submitted when he was part of the Speaker of Tshwane, as well as now lately when he was appointed executive mayor.
So what will happen now with the Hawks investigation?
This investigation now is going to prepare for trial, as you have already heard in court. The case has been postponed to the 3rd of May, where we will be getting documentation as well as preparation for trial.
Thank you so much. Let's cross to Lumka Mahajane. She's the regional spokesperson for the National Prosecuting Authority here. Lumka, thank you so much for your time. So 2 counts of fraud, case being worth 1.4 million rand. It's a Schedule 5 offence. It seems serious. What kind of sentences are imposed for this offence, and what makes it so serious?
Schedule 5 offence is a serious offence. This is made serious by the amount of money that he received while he was still employed as a councillor and also as the Speaker of the city of Tshwane.
We heard in court a tweet that was read out that was authored by Dr. Makwarela, where he said that he apologized to the city and to its residents, and that he was willing to repay the money, and that he felt misled by Dr. Khosi Maepa and Lesego Makubela from the ANC. Does the fact that he was willing to pay back the money mean anything?
At this point, you cannot preempt what will happen in court. The matter, as you know, that was postponed to the 2nd of May for the disclosure of the docket and for consultation. So thereafter, when the trial is starting, then we will know if ever he will still maintain that he wants to repay or what's going to happen. So at this point, I cannot confirm that.
The NPA not opposing bail here and believing that he'll come back to stand trial. But what kind of attitude are you taking here? Is this a case which you wish to use to make an example of people who submit fake documents? And does the fact that he's a high-profile politician play any part here?
Well, as the NPA, we do not look at an individual, whether it's a politician or not a politician. We look at the facts of the case. We look at the crime that is committed. And every crime that is committed is a serious crime.
Thank you so much, Lumka Mahajane. She's the spokesperson for the regional NPA. We will be speaking to a representative from COPE in a short while. What's interesting about this case is that Dr. Makwarela appearing to be remorseful when he was in the dock. But what's also interesting is that the tweet that he read out was read out by the state was deleted, but it appears that the state still has evidence of that tweet. And what's interesting is that Dr. Makwarela said in his bail application that he intends to plead not guilty to this. It'll be interesting to see how they approach the fact that he appeared to have admitted to the fraud charge on Twitter, deleted the tweet, and now appears in court on 2 charges of fraud. And intends to plead not guilty. Let's talk about the political consequences here. Joining me me is Mr. Brian Mkomo from the Congress of the People. He's the regional spokesperson for Tshwane, appearing here as a family friend of Dr. Makwarela. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Makwarela telling Newzroom Afrika while he was sitting in the dock that he's resigned as a member of COPE. What did he say when he resigned?
No, I want to confirm that Dr. Makwarela has resigned as a member of COPE. He has written to the regional structure of COPE to inform us that as he is facing all these matters of legal nature, he wants to be given space and time so that he can deal with these matters that he's facing in court of law. I can confirm, yes, he did resign.
Why did he say, or did he say why he submitted that document, or whether he believed that it was a true and correct document?
Look, the authenticity of that document is a subject that is now before the court. I think on that one, let us give the court the space to ventilate on the matter, and it will arrive at a decision whether that document was authentic or not. Because you must remember that document, when it was sent through, it came purported to be that of Dr. Makwarela. But as it is now a matter of a subject before the court, let us give the court space and time to deal with the matter, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Why didn't COPE confirm that he was rehabilitated from insolvency?
Look, the question of rehabilitation is something that normally has its own implications. You will have a 5-year period, a 10-year period, whereby when a person is to undergo rehabilitation, some automatically get expunged by the time, inflection of time or inflection of period. So when this kind of things happen, you will sometimes find yourself in a fix because you don't have a clear and a better understanding of whether you still in the period of being rehabilitated or your rehabilitation period has lapsed. So these are the kind of things that which the court will definitely make a finding on.
You're saying that COPE didn't know whether he was rehabilitated or not as a party before you allowed him to represent your party in council?
Look, when this matter came before the party, we all want to assume that each and every person is properly vetted. We were also under the impression that Dr. Makwarela was properly vetted. Dr. Makwarela, as he was the Speaker of Council, the council as well did his own duty, which was to vet him before he could assume that position of being a Speaker in the Council of Tshwane.
Okay, finally then, sir, you've appeared here as a family friend. How's Dr. Makwarela been doing? What's his outlook now?
Look, Dr. Makwarela is in high spirits. He is blessed. Remember that Dr. Makwarela is also a pastor and an apostle, and he's always taking inspiration from the Word of God. So he is in high spirit. He will just give the courts to deal with this matter and have this matter laid to rest once and for all.
He's not concerned?
Look, we can be concerned, we might not be concerned, but what is important is he is now in court, waiting for the court to judge on this matter. So it can be the court that can arrive at a particular conclusion.
Thank you so much. The regional Tshwane spokesperson for the Congress of the People there. We're coming to you live from outside the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court. The former Tshwane mayor faces 2 counts of fraud and another of submitting a forged document knowing that it was forged. It's related to 1.4 million rand. That's how much money he received in a salary while he was employed as a councillor of the city. And we're hearing that he's bubbly and high spirits. When we spoke to him briefly while in the dock, Dr. Makwarela saying that he feels blessed and led by the Spirit. But he'll be back here in this court on the 2nd of May when the docket would have been handed over to the defense and they would be able to give a clearer indication of when this matter will go to trial. For now, though, it's back to you.
Govan, Whittles, thank you very much for that comprehensive report. We'll touch base with you a little bit later.